This video is going to be about animating and masking text. So I'll start off with masking first. So if I go into After Effects, I'll make my new composition here. I've got the right settings, so I'll go OK. And the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to bring in a bit of text. Get the text tool. And I'll type something in. Now, whenever I have a layer, if it's highlighted, see it's highlighted here, and I draw anything, whether it's with the pen tool or the shape tool, it creates a mask. You can see the mask come in here. So what I can do is I can keyframe that mask. So if I click on this mask and I drag it back and I give it a keyframe and I move it along over 1 second, I'll grab one side of it. Oops. I need to click off, click on that side so I've got just that selected, and then I can drag it across. N is going to shift the work area in, press play, and it shows that mask. There's a few other things, like if I move it back here, I can control the feather. So you can see the softness of the lettering as it comes across. Play it. It comes across a little bit softer. There's opacity of the mask and various things here. Now with this, what I'm going to find is that if I click off everything, I click on this and move it, the mask and that lettering is going to move around together. So if I delete that mask and I have nothing selected, and I create a solid here, I'm just going to give it a color so I can see it. The other way of creating a mask is with a track matte. So I know that I can switch the switches here. I can put it on alpha, and I can see this. Now the difference with this means that if I have my lettering and I move it, it moves independent of the mask. So the track matte is now working as a mask, but it's not moving. So I can move these two things around independently. I could parent them, but with a mask, it moves with the object. With a track matte, they work independently. So I'll get rid of that. Now with the masking, if I click on this layer and I get the pen tool and I drag in this line, what you'll find is that it's created a mask called mask 1. Now if I dial open the text, it has path options and I can change it to mask 1. Now you're going to end up with a whole lot of settings that come in, but let's deal with the first one first. So I'll go first margin. So I'm pushing that back all the way off. I can keyframe it, move it to 1 second, and then do the opposite. Just push it all the way along. Play it. And once you have these keyframes, everything can use the graph editor. We have reversing the path, so it's on the other side now. Force alignment. So if I bring this back here, I switch on force alignment. You can see what's happening. It stretches it right across, and as it moves across, it pulls it in together. More options. There's a whole lot of bits and pieces here, but the one I want to look at is we have this animate function. If I click on this, you can have scale tracking, so the spacing of it. I'm going to go scale before I start. So what you'll see is that it comes in with scale. I can move that right down low, so I'm not keyframing it. But what it has is it has this thing called a range selector. And with this is where it starts to get fairly interesting, is I can move in the end, and you can see the cursor coming across. I can actually just should be able to click on that cursor, and I can just physically move it as well. So this is set the end for 20, so it's just affecting the H. What I can do is there's an option here that talks about the offset. So see, I've pushed that back, so we can see the whole H. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keyframe it. I'm going to let hello come in, and when it gets here, I'll set another keyframe, and then as it gets to here, I'm going to change the offset. And what it's doing is it's running along lesser by lesser until it goes off the O. So now when we play it, right, it's happening a little bit too quickly. So let's get these last keyframes, pull them across, and now you can see it a bit better. So the range selector is sliding along that text.